What's poppin', dogs? Mr. Allen here, finding some missing coefficients of polynomials in this video. And there's actually a couple different ways of going about this. I'm going to show you both ways. So for this first one over here, I have given that x plus 2 is a factor of p of x equals x cubed plus 3x squared plus ax minus 8. Find the value of a. So a is right here with that guy. Now you can do this process with either direct substitution or with some synthetic division, okay? Now, I personally like the direct substitution method, so I'm going to show you guys that one first, and then we're going to connect it to the synthetic division because sometimes that helps if the numbers are getting rather large and it's a non-calc thing, okay? So, if x plus 2 is a factor, what does that tell me? Well, that tells me that when x is equal to negative 2, this function equals 0, right? Meaning if I were to substitute in negative 2, my function equals 0, right? X plus 2 is a factor. X equals negative 2 is the 0. It's an x-intercept, negative 2 comma 0. So the function equals 0 at that point. So how do I use this information? Well, if I plugged negative 2 in for all my x's and set it equal to 0, so negative 2 cubed plus 3 times negative 2 squared plus a times negative 2 minus 8, all of that equals 0. Cool. So now I've transformed this rather scary looking problem into honestly just some simple algebra. Yes, there's a bit going on here, but I have 0 equals negative 2 cubed, cubed is negative 8, plus, let's see here, negative 2 squared is 4 times 3 is 12. Then we have minus 2a. I'm going to write that like normally now with like a coefficient in the variable. Minus 8. Let's combine all my like terms. I have negative 8. Negative 8, that's negative 16, plus 12 is negative 4 minus 2a. So let's add the 4 and divide by negative 2. So I would get a equals negative 2. Boom. Divide by negative 2. There we go. Show all my work. All right. Cool. So a equals negative 2. That's all I was asked for. Lovely. Okay. But I did say there's another way, and you could do so with synthetic division. If I take the same negative 2 and I set up synthetic division here, 1 for my x cubed, 3 for my x squared, a, and then negative 8, I'm going to use the remainder theorem, which the remainder should be 0, right? This should be 0 right here. And I'm going to use that to solve for a. So check it out. If I drop down that 1, go through my process, that's negative 2, right? I multiply those. Then I add them. Then I multiply, then I add them, so that's a minus 2. Then I multiply, that's negative 2a plus 4. Then I add these, I get negative 2a minus 4. Well, what should that equal? If it is a factor, right? If x plus 2 is a factor, then my remainder should be 0. So I could say negative 2a minus 4 equals 0. Add the 4, I get negative 2a equals 4. Divide by negative 2. And once again, we get a equals negative 2, just like the other method, right? So I could use synthetic division. I could use direct substitution. Either way is okay. If your teacher asks you for one way or another, then you need to follow the directions of what they said. But there are two different processes of doing this, okay? I like this one better. It makes more sense to me, but they do both work. And generally with synthetic division, notice how my numbers all stayed very small. Whereas over here, we got 8, we got 12. The numbers could get rather large in these scenarios. I think it will in this one over here. So sometimes I favor the synthetic division if it's a non-calc situation. And I'm asked the same type of question. But it does get kind of messy over at the end with all the adding and distributing. It is what it is, right? Choose your heart, if you will. Where I pick one way or another, stick with it, up to you. All right. Let's do the same thing here, guys. Same thing. We'll do the same two ways of doing this, but this time it's a slightly different situation. It says x equals 3. I'm not given a factor. So when I do direct substitution here, I'm going to be using 3, not negative 3, right? It's what x equals. So just be on the lookout for those subtleties. Whereas over here, I gave you the factor. Here, I gave you the 0. Got to be on the lookout for that. So given that x equals 3 is a 0 of g of x equals all that, find the value of a. So I know that g of 3 should equal 0, right? I know that to be a fact, so let's do that. I have 0 equals 2, and then I'm going to directly substitute in parentheses. Anytime I'm doing direct substitution, I'm putting stuff in parentheses, especially if it's like a negative number. Oh, I'm going to run out of room. Boom, just fit it. Okay. Especially if it's a negative number and you're plugging things into the calculator, you need the parentheses. Otherwise, your calculator is going to do the number to the exponent and then make it negative automatically. So I always use the parentheses there when I'm doing direct substitution. I think it shows that I'm doing direct substitution. It reminds me that I'm doing direct substitution. Anywho, enough with saying direct substitution. Let's start doing some evaluating. Let's see here. 3 to the 4th, that's 81. So it's 162. That's 27 plus 9a. That's negative 18 plus 9. Okay, so now we got to combine like terms. Let's do a little at a time. So that's negative 9. So that'd be 162. That's what, minus 36, right? Plus 9a. Okay, so is that a little more manageable? 162 minus 36. Math is hard, bro. Why am I brain farting? Is it 126? Is that right? I'm going to cheat. I don't want to make a mistake in this video. 162 minus 36. 126. Okay. Just got to believe in yourself. Right? Some people worry about, people seeing like their phone history or their, whatever kind of like looking through things. I worry about people looking through my calculator and see the simple math that I do from time to time when I'm uncertain, right? I'm going to be like, 5 plus 2 is still 7, right? Type it in. I don't want people looking at that, right? Anywho, let's subtract 126 on both sides. And I get 9a equals negative 126. I don't know why I flip-flopped that, but I did. Divide by 9, I get a equals negative 14. Boom. Okay. So there's my a value. From direct substitution with some sketchy numbers, right? They get kind of big. Let's see what happens here with the synthetic division process, okay? So I have, and hopefully I have enough room here. I think I do. Let's put 3. And I've got 2, negative 1, a, negative 6, and 9. 2, negative 1, a, negative 6, 9. Okay. Always double check those things, right? You don't want to like get a problem wrong for some stupid mistake. I know how that goes. I do that from time to time. We're going to drop the 2. Multiply, I get 6. Add them, I get 5. Multiply, I get 15. Add them, we have a plus 15, or 15 plus a. Multiply, I have 3a plus 45. So that's going to be 3a. And then negative 6 plus 45, that's positive 39. 3 times 3a is 9a. 3 times 39. 3 times 30 is 90. 3 times 9 is 27. 90 plus 27 is 117. So plus 117. Then I'm going to add. I have 9a. 9 plus 117 is 126. Things are checking out. That's my remainder. But what should my remainder equal? My remainder should equal 0. So I have 9a plus 126 equals 0. So 9a equals negative 126. Divide by 9. And we get a equals negative 14. Just like we did with the previous method. Kind of cool. 2 different ways to do it. Choose whichever one you want. Again, I favor direct substitution, but everybody has their own preference. All right? So hope that helps you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like it, subscribe it. Keep on watching. Got a ton of videos on polynomials. And if there's anything that I'm missing that you want, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to make it for you. See you later.